This is the latest immigration news. It was published on the 6th of May 2025, and I felt it's so important for me to share this with you so that you can know what is happening in the UK. It says visa applications for some nationalities could be restricted. In this video, I'm going to share with you the nationalities that the Home Office is proposing to restrict their visas. I'm talking about work visa and study visa. So if you're interested in coming to the UK to work or study, then you need to watch this video till the end. I'm also going to share with you some statistics. You know, the reason why they want to introduce this restriction is because there is this high number of international students who applied for asylum. Asylum seeking is something that this country does not like at all. So I'm going to share with you the figures for each nationality that they've published on the BBC, as well as what Sir Keir Starmer has to say about the recent changes in the political climate right now in the UK. Things have changed, power has shifted. If you're interested in knowing some of these things, maybe you want to study in the UK or you work in the UK, and also I'm going to share my opinion about this anyway, because I like to tell you what I think about it and how things are going to play out. I might be wrong, I might be correct, but let's just see. If you're interested in this, then watch this video till the end. Hello everybody, my name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition abroad to be as smooth as possible. I share information about settling, working or studying in the UK. If you're interested in any of these, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification bell so that each time I drop a new video, you'll be amongst the first people to see that video. Thank you so much, my returning subscribers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And if you need support getting a visa sponsorship job, perhaps you need to optimize your NHS supporting information, CV or cover letter, then reach out to me. The link will be in the description as well as in the comments. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. The report by the BBC says visa applications from nationalities thought most likely to overstay and claim asylum in the UK could be restricted under a new government crackdown. Now, it says that under the Home Office plans, first reported in the Times, people from countries such as Pakistan, Nigeria, and Sri Lanka may find it more difficult to come to the UK to work and study. So these are the nationalities that might likely be impacted by the new law they would introduce soon. It says that ministers believe there is a particular problem with those who come to the UK legally to work or study and then lodge a claim for asylum, which, if granted, could allow them to stay in the country permanently. I told you that claiming asylum in this country is a no-no for most people. People who are Brits, people who stay in this country do not like it because they feel you are feeding off the system. They pay their taxes, and after paying their taxes, that money is now used to lodge people in hotels or something like that. They don't like it. We know that most times asylum seekers cannot work. They're not allowed to work. And so they have to live off some means of so to survive, and the people in this country do not like it. Because of this, the government have already said that our upcoming immigration white paper will set out a comprehensive plan to restore order to our broken immigration system. This white paper we have been waiting for will soon be released, and I will share any updates with regards to this white paper. I told you that the UK government announced they want to change the law when it comes to graduate visas. That means that if you want to switch to a graduate visa, you must get a graduate level job first before you are eligible to switch from a study visa or student visa to a graduate visa. This is one of their proposals. And when the UK government makes any proposal, they sometimes go back on it, sometimes they move forward with it. You can never tell. But what they are doing right now is that they're doing their research. They have to be sure that this is the best process or law to introduce with regards to how it will affect the finances of this country, the talents they want. All these things are the things that they're going to assess, and net migration too. When they assess it, they will come up with a final plan, which they are going to introduce in the white paper that we are all waiting for. So subscribe to this channel because I'll be one of the people that will update you on this. They are also saying that if someone comes into the UK to study and then switches to an asylum route, they feel is an abuse on the UK immigration system, and they are going to do something to crack it down. They said latest Home Office figures show that more than 108,000 people claimed asylum in the UK last year, the highest level since records began in 1979. So they've observed this particular trend and they feel they want to tackle it. The nationalities involved include 10,542 Pakistani nationals claimed asylum, the most of any nationality. Then some 2,862 Sri Lanka nationals and 2,841 Nigerian nationals claimed asylum in the same period. And some people have already published that last year, a total of 10,000 plus international students claimed asylum out of these 108,000 people who submitted an application for asylum last year. So that 10,000 plus people who submitted an application for asylum that came in through the study route is what the UK government want to tackle right now. They have not shared with us the visa route for others, but this is what the UK does. They carry out research, analyze it properly, and then they make an informed decision on what changes they're going to introduce. And they're saying right now that they're going to publish this in the white paper. Latest figures from 2023/2024 also show there were 732,285 international students in the UK, with most coming from India, that's 107,480, and China 98,400. So these are the figures that they released, and we know that these two countries are the largest number of people who actually come into this country to pursue an education. I already shared with you that the number of UK work and study visas dropped drastically recently. So this is as a result of all the laws that the Conservative Party put in place. For example, they said that care workers can no longer bring their dependents, students can no longer bring their dependents, and also they increased the minimum salary threshold from 25,000 to around 38,700. And they also introduced some restrictions on spouse visas. These all contributed to that drop in the number of people who actually applied for visas or their visas were approved. This push to introduce new immigration policies to restrict visas is as a result of some of the new changes that are happening in the political climate. If you check, there was these local elections that took place and the Reform Party won. It says here that the Reform won 677 out of around 1,600 seats contested on Thursday across a clutch of mainly Tory-led councils last contested in 2021. So that's a huge change. In fact, the current leader of the Reform Party has already said that this is no longer a two-party game anymore. That is when they say it's either Labour or the Conservative. In its general election manifesto, Reform said it would implement a freeze on non-essential immigration. Those with certain skills, for example, in healthcare, would still be allowed to come into the UK. So we already know that the UK loves their healthcare, especially the NHS, and that 30 million out of the 67 million of people living in the UK are above the age of 60. It means they need care. Also, below 60, there are people who have mental health issues. Maybe they need support in one way or the other due to physical or mental disabilities. So this is the reason why there is this high number of care worker vacancies you're seeing online. Also, the fact that many people who live in this country, Brits and people with indefinite leave to remain, do not want to do the job. They don't want to do the job, yes. And that is the reason why many people are going to care and get this visa sponsorship to pursue care in the UK. But I've always told you, if you are your parents' pension and you want to pursue your studies in the UK, then you should choose a course that is in high demand when you finish. That is, if you want to fill in any labor shortages they have in the UK. If you pursue a course because it sounds so good and that is what you did in your BSc, it does not guarantee that you will get a job when you come to the UK, because there are some jobs that are hard to get. I don't want you to end up spending a lot of money, 20,000, 25,000 pounds pursuing a master's, and at the end, guess what? There is no job. You start filing asylum. Asylum is just one way that is so difficult. It's difficult to survive in it because you will not be at peace. It could take 3 years for the process to be complete, and even after the process, if they feel that they would reject your visa, then what will you do about it? So it's not the best pathway to follow. Maybe you should look for another country, in my own personal opinion. Don't come in to study in the UK if you don't have particular skills, technical skills. That is what employers are looking for. If you want them to employ you and not employ someone who is in Britain that does not have the skill, then there's something you bring to the table. You must have had many years of experience in that particular, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years of experience in that particular sector. You are not somebody that they will start training from scratch, and you are able to fit in perfectly with whatever job role it is. And also, the important thing is that that particular job is on the skilled worker visa occupation codes. So please, guys, stop pursuing courses that are not going to be valuable to you, especially if you are your parents' pension. Anyway, the political climate in the UK is changing, and Sir Keir Starmer has something to say about it. He said, reacting to the results last week, he shared the sharp edge of fury felt by voters leaning away from the major parties, arguing that it would spur him on to go further and faster in delivering Labour's promised changes to immigration and public services. So he intends to go further with this particular immigration rules. This is a proposal. It's not certain what is going to happen, but they're going to publish whatever is going to happen in the white papers. And I told you, I promise you, I will share with you whatever they publish in the white papers so that you are well informed. If you want to pursue maybe the study route in September, I would just say hold fire. Wait for the white papers. When is it likely to be published? I think towards the end of this month or next month. Is often during summer. That's when they publish the white papers. Hold fire. If not, just go look for another country you go to. I know that this thing is going to affect universities. Once they introduce laws that are going to restrict foreigners from coming to the UK, it's going to affect universities more. And I feel the universities need to look for a better business model. I told you previously that the international students actually contribute a lot to the funding or the finances of most universities. And that's the reason when they restricted care workers from bringing dependents and put other restrictions, increasing the minimum salary threshold for skilled worker visa, it affected many people coming into the UK to pursue their study. The student visa dropped, and that's affected universities. They've sacked some staff, some departments have closed, some campuses have actually closed up because of this, because they lack funding. So these universities are fighting it. Guys, the country is working very hard to make sure people who have the skills can fill in the labor shortages. They want to choose those people, Brits first, before someone who is coming from outside. So while all of these are taking place, you can see that healthcare is one sector that the country will always need. Carers, doctors, nurses, radiographers, occupational therapies, speech and language therapies. You go and check out the health and care visa occupation codes. You go and check the list there. They always need people in that particular sector. And I feel if you want to work in the UK, then check that out. There are also other sectors like AI. The UK has already announced their UK opportunity plan for AI. You can go and check it out and see how you fit in and how you will bring your skills into the UK to fill in the labor shortages they may have. I hope you've benefited a lot from this video. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think they will go ahead with this now that there is this huge pressure on the Labour government to act now that reform is taking over? Do you think that there might be some substantial changes in the white paper? I feel that white paper will contain some bombshell things that will shake immigration in 2025. let's just wait and see what happens. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.